Justin Trudeau once captivated the world. He was young, charismatic, and spoke of hope and change. But the shine quickly wore off. Trudeau's tenure as Prime Minister has been marked by disappointment and unfulfilled promises. His policies have often been divisive and ineffective. On the world stage, Trudeau has been more style than substance. Canada finds itself adrift, its reputation tarnished. Trudeau's fall from grace is a cautionary tale. It is a story of ambition colliding with reality. It is a reminder that charisma cannot replace competence. Canadians deserve better. The world expects more. It is time for a new era of leadership in Canada. An era defined by action, not photo opportunities. The future of Canada depends on it. Trudeau's economic record is one of missed opportunities and outright failures. He inherited a relatively strong economy. However, years of reckless spending and misguided policies have left Canada in a precarious position. The national debt has skyrocketed. Inflation is eroding the purchasing power of hard-working Canadians. The dream of homeownership is increasingly out of reach for many. Trudeau's response to these crises has been wholly inadequate. He has offered band-aid solutions and empty rhetoric. The middle class is struggling under the weight of rising costs. Small businesses are being crushed by red tape and burdensome regulations. One of Trudeau's most egregious failures has been his handling of the housing crisis. Under his watch, housing prices have spiraled out of control, leaving an entire generation priced out of the market. The economic mismanagement of the Trudeau government is a betrayal of the trust placed in them by Canadians. Canada needs a course correction. Trudeau's progressive veneer has worn thin, revealing a leader increasingly intolerant of dissent and comfortable with government overreach. His government has introduced policies that stifle free speech under the guise of combating online hate. He has used the power of the state to silence critics and debate on issues deemed politically inconvenient. Trudeau's handling of the Freedom Convoy protests was a chilling demonstration of his willingness to resort to authoritarian tactics. He invoked the Emergencies Act to crush a protest movement he personally disagreed with. The contrast between Trudeau's words and his actions is stark. He speaks eloquently about reconciliation with Indigenous peoples while failing to deliver on basic promises. He champions himself as a feminist while surrounding himself with accused abusers. Canadians are tired of the hypocrisy and virtue signaling. They want a leader who understands that true leadership is about action, not appearances. On the world stage, Justin Trudeau's performance has been marked by inconsistency and a lack of strategic vision. His foreign policy has been more about optics than substance, leaving Canada's international reputation diminished. Trudeau's relationship with the United States, Canada's closest ally and trading partner, has been particularly fraught. He has publicly clashed with successive American presidents, undermining trust and cooperation. On crucial issues such as trade and security, Canada has been relegated to the sidelines. Perhaps most concerning has been Trudeau's naive and ineffective approach to China. He has consistently downplayed the threat posed by the Chinese Communist Party. His government's weak response to the arbitrary detention of Canadian citizens was a national embarrassment. Trudeau's foreign policy legacy will be one of missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. It is time for a new approach, one grounded in realism, principle, and a commitment to defending Canada's interests. As voters and citizens, it is our responsibility to hold our leaders accountable and ensure that they deliver on their promises. At the end of this video, let's briefly compare Justin Trudeau and Gavin Newsom. Despite their initial promises, both leaders have struggled to meet the high expectations set for them. Similarly, Gavin Newsom has faced backlash over his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and economic challenges in California. Trudeau's economic and foreign policy missteps have tarnished his reputation. Both leaders have been seen as charismatic figures with progressive agendas. However, their tenures have been marked by significant controversies and criticisms. Their government's inability to manage the economies effectively has led to increased national and statewide debts and economic uncertainty. On the international stage, Trudeau's lack of strategic vision has left Canada sidelined and vulnerable. Despite his early promise, Newsom's administration has struggled with high unemployment rates, homelessness, and a public health crisis that has exposed the state's vulnerabilities. His incompetence in environmental governance has led to California being plagued by water shortages and fires all year round. These two guys' experiences have served as a stark reminder that effective leadership requires more than just charisma. It demands competence and tangible results. Only then can we hope for a future where leadership is defined by action and integrity, rather than empty gestures and unmet expectations.